The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. My day's free and the night's long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. With us, as famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am. It's fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? First of all, I want to thank Leo Rodriguez for that new fancy schmancy promo. Leo, new year, new promo. I didn't ask Leo to do that. He just did that on his own. Incredible. So first of all, I want to say thank you to Leo. Happy Tuesday, Maria. And Leo says Danielle. Hi, Danielle, our friend Danielle, who is an amazing spiritual medium. She happens to be our friend, but boy, is she really good at what she does. Matter of fact, this week, my Ziana, who is my mother's sister and my favorite human on the planet, had a reading, and it was a 5-star, 10-star review, Danielle. They loved it. They loved it. Everyone that's gotten a reading from Danielle is just blown away. So I can't say enough about Danielle. And at some point, we'll put... Oh, there it is, Leo. You already did it. So damcldesigns.com, and go to Danielle's website. She has so many services you can't imagine. Different things. What I personally had and highly recommend is a quantum session. Yes, Tiana is amazing. And Rita will be on soon. She always watches every week. She is amazing. And her birthday's next week. So big things coming up. So yes, go to websites. Let me tell you something. We like to promote our friends. Leo and I like to promote our friends because we are surrounded by great people, and we are so grateful, and so we want to spread the good news. So that is what's happening. As a matter of fact, I just realized I do want to go on my face. We're coming through YouTube. We come through my Facebook page, and we come through Leo's Facebook page, I think, and then our What's the Story with Maria page. So we're coming through a lot of different places. Let us know you're out there. We love our audiences. Last night was such an incredible night. I had my annual musicians party, which I try to do every year, although during COVID we skipped it because of obvious reasons. Oh, there's Kenny Holcomb. Hi, Maria and Leo. Hello and happy Tuesday, says Rena Quinelli-Berge. Rena, we were just talking about you with Danielle. I said Rena's going to pop on any minute. So last night at the Stonewall Inn, which, hold on one second. Okay, there we go. I like to have both pages up because the comments come up separately. See what I mean? Sean Chinsoon. Hi, Sean. Sean, I was looking at a picture of you and your little puppy today. Adorable. You guys kind of look alike. And then Ed Kutu, my friend from high school. Eddie, who runs Blade Salon in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Eddie, if you want your hair did by Eddie and you're in that area, you just pull over. I believe it's exit 24, Eddie, if I'm not mistaken. And Eddie will be right close off that exit and go and check. Brady Cudmore, this is so crazy, from Canada. I was thinking about you recently. Isn't that crazy? I haven't seen you in years, but I was thinking about you. Brady is a wonderful singer-songwriter, and he is Canadian, yes. And I had the pleasure of having him on my show in studio a bunch of years back. So when we first started, I think the show is going to be in July. I think we're celebrating. Leo, is it 5 years or 6 years? Boy.
6 years, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Is it 6 years?
Is that you, or is it an animated version? Okay.
Something happened to me.
All right. Let me tell
I've
everybody.
been Torgened.
You have been Torganized. Let me tell you something.
Look at this.
Is that incredible? Okay, so for Christmas, I said I have to get Leo something really, really special. Something that you can't buy in a store, something that is personal and something. I mean, come on. So Keith Torgan, who is our great friend and sweetheart, who's a songwriter as well, but also an artist, does incredible work. And he takes like people that he knows and he creates these really interesting portraits. So I said, what I want to get Leo for Christmas is a portrait of himself, your art style. And so he took upon him, I sent him a bunch of pictures, but he took it upon himself to choose this one. And can you look at how beautiful this
It
portrait
is so beautiful. Look at the stars. If you can see,
yeah.
there's so many stars and the heart, and just, it's so beautiful.
It's incredible. But you know what I love about it, Leo? How he captured you as kind of almost like in Italian we would call it a pagliaccio, like a clown, but not like a stupid clown or silly clown, like
the
pagliaccio, yeah, like a
purette, yeah.
Yes, but he captured that essence because you are funny.
The white with all the white and
and you are theatrical, extremely theatrical. I mean, you were a theater major, I believe. You're a playwright, and I just really love.
What is this song?
Ridere pagliaccio.
Now there is the boyfriend. Poor little Pierrette, where's your Pierrot? And it's about the clowns.
Oh,
I
really?
was in that, yeah. I played that role along.
Oh, I love that.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and thank you so much. People always tell you the self-portraits, and you see them out there, pictures. This has got to be the best picture.
I mean,
I think. And
he
this should
shows
be
that picture. He did something on Facebook. He saw something that it spoke to him, and that's the one he chose. And I am waiting in the mail for one. No, it's not a portrait just of me. It's a portrait of me and you.
I'm gonna love that one.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to see that one.
And I can't wait to show it. So Keith Torgan, who is our great friend, Leo, what is his website? TorganArts.com.
TorganArts.com.
Yes, he does really cool artwork. And anyway, I just asked him if he would do it, like I needed a Christmas present. I know, Gene Simpson Dunn, our friend in Danville, said, wow, show that one more time because I just think it blew me away. And, he did send me a preview, but so I had to choose. But I just thought what he came up with was incredible. Tilt your head that way, Leo. Yes! I mean, come on. He totally captured
We're both looking at the What's Maria screen on our computer.
Oh, my God. It's just fantastic. I'm so glad.
It's beautiful. There we go.
Oh, look what Rena said. He captured someone who spreads joy and light. Rena.
He did. Well, thank you, Rena.
I know. And Danielle said, it's lovely, almost as interesting as you, Leo.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Thank
Leo
you.
is a good soul. And you know what?
Oh, I'm feeling very warm tonight.
Well, you should. And
it's not just the hot flashes.
Well, I know you are at that age now, miss.
You know.
I know. I've been there, but I'm over now. Oh, my God. There's Lynn Portish. Genius! There she is. I had the great honor of seeing Lynn Portish Genius last night. But, Lynn, I got to tell you, I'm a little upset about last night because I wanted to hear more Lynn Portish. And what happened was it got a little crazy. Lynn Portish got up to play and did like a half a song or something. And then people started to go up there. And then I wanted to go up and do a little harmony, and then other people jumped up, and it kind of, she just got surrounded by people that loved what she was doing, but I wanted to hear more just Lynn Portish.
Oh, so, she's so great. She's wonderful.
She's amazing.
She's great, and she's great to sing with as well.
And she also said, Leo, hope you're doing okay in California.
I feed my birds every day, and even though I don't get to reach out to you, Lynn, I just think about you. We do this thing when we have our little bird friends come and visit us at close up, and so we always send pictures to each other.
You do?
Yeah, we do.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have
I love that. That's so sweet.
I'm sad that I missed your musicians' night, though. That's such a wonderful, wonderful party.
So what I used to do, we used to have my friends over pre-COVID. A bunch of my friends at my apartment, we would all cook and bring something. And then we would, because we wanted to just have a night that we weren't working, didn't have to wait tables, didn't have to.
Sausage and peppers.
And I would cook and we would all sit around and people would play the piano, the guitar, with the drums, whatever. And we would all sing. So it's become very popular.
Harmonize and just,
it's incredible. but it just kind of started getting too big for my apartment. And then when COVID hit, it really wasn't kind of safe to be that close to each other. So we didn't have it for a few years. But I said to myself, okay. So, and now, of course, I make sauce. So my apartment's like the sauce factory. I have so many cans and stuff.
I was thinking about sauce, about your sauce. Yeah. A lot of people like your sauce and all your products. Like, there's some sauce right there.
David and Carrie Lynn, the Foot Foley's, Mr. and Mrs. September. Thank you, Leah, for reminding me. Yes, we have of course we have a calendar because we sell aprons. So this is the Nothing But the Apron calendar. It's only $15. You cannot go wrong. And the Fit Foleys are September.
They are.
And, of course, the hotness that is Miss January, Elaine Feliciano. Elaine Feliciano, hottie, and her husband, of course, is Peter Feliciano, Mr. November, in the 2022 calendar. So we do not discriminate. Husbands, wives, come on.
They both have a little apron rising, don't they?
Yeah.
They're both a little with that side of the apron.
The little side. They're a little partial to the left side there.
We should take it to a tailor maybe to see what's going on there.
I don't know. Maybe they have static. Okay. Keep checking. So Sean is checked in. Yes. Frank Skillhorn. Hi, Frank Skillhorn. How are you, honey bunny? He's checked in. Lynn, of course. Julia Daniels has checked in. Hi, Julia. And Mel White is watching. Hi, Mel White.
Hey, Mel.
So we have a lot of our friends have already checked in. Of course, Rena Crinelli-Berge, My Amazing Color.
The weather girl.
Now, Leah, what is happening in California as far as
it's raining?
That's unusual, right?
Yeah, but we like it. Well, some parts like it. Some parts don't. People that like to move to the very edge of the earth and like to pretend like the earth doesn't move, is not a living being. Okay. They get a little scared. Also because of the fires, mudslides and the fires and stuff. But, oh my goodness, when a pine tree that has been looking for water gets a whole bunch of it, the next day, it is just the most beautiful, fragrant smelling thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I live in the forest, and it's just, it's so great for us right now.
Well, that's so great, honey. I'm glad you. But, Lynn, I was thinking about that too. And then you had an earthquake up north.
Up in Humboldt. That's further up there.
All right.
Those are scary because you can't control Mother Earth when she's shaking.
No, wow. There's
shaking
a lot to think about. But I do love California. I will say it's maybe next to New York and Massachusetts, my favorite state.
We've been talking about it. So I think it's time that you...
I got to get out there.
Come to Palm Springs.
Yes, I'm going to... And I have a JetBlue card now, so I could use my JetBlue card.
They fly on Fridays.
Oh, good to know. Okay, excellent.
Fridays out of Palm Springs.
All right, so we...
and then I'll pick you up in my my Subaru.
Your Subaru, wow. All right, that would be amazing. And then I'll take you out to dinner at Paul Bar in Palm Springs. If you're in Palm Springs, my friend Paul O'Halloran has an incredible... He worked at Joe Allen for years and years and years. It's very Joe Allen-esque, but with a speakeasy feel to it. So if you're in the Palm Springs area, you want to go to Paul Bar. He is my friend. I like to promote my friends. That's kind of like what I like to do. Okay, so now, speaking of promoting our friends, so we had these two gentlemen on in November, right, Leo? Mm-hmm. Beginning of November.
Yep.
And they talked about... Three gentlemen, right. We had Jeff, Jerry, and Andy. Mm-hmm. And they were telling me about their movie that is being released and all these amazing things about this movie. And then I said to them, it's called Cheap Shots. And I'm very excited because I was looking on Andy's page and I saw that it's showing this weekend, this Sunday, I believe, in Bronxville, which is not far from me at all.
It's a picture house.
Yes. And the Bronxville Picture House, January 15th. And there it is for tickets, thepicturehouse.org. Or you can go to Cheap Shots 1988. Wow, 1988. Man, I can't even tell you when I was doing that.
That's year graduated high school. Woo!
Forrest and holy moly, can you imagine? All right, but... Anyway, so we're going to talk about that because now it's been re-released and we really want to just let you guys know if you're in the area.
Hey, should we watch a clip?
Yeah, you want to show a clip? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's have a little clip.
Good idea, Leo.
So that people know what we're talking about.
Beautiful.
Tell your friends we got the tape.
Got the tape?
That's right.
I knew you guys were holding out.
These are the terms. Are you ready?
Oh, hold on. I gotta get a pencil here. You okay?
I want $20,000.
20,000?
$20,000 in $20 bills. And I want a new septic tank. You pay for that too. Installation, everything.
Yeah, okay. Is that it?
And I want a guarantee of safety for me, Arnold, and our family. No one is to get hurt. You understand?
Well, sure. That goes without saying.
This is very important. Maybe you should ask him to sign something.
Boy, come on. These guys ain't gonna do that.
All right, maybe it's not necessary, but they must promise.
Okay.
And I want,
Jesus.
and I want cable TV in all the cabins. Got it? That's it.
Why don't you buy your own cable TV? You get 20 grand.
Hey, that's my business. Just tell them.
What about a time and place?
Tomorrow morning, stop at the mailbox. Inside there'll be directions.
Great.
You come too, all right?
Wouldn't miss it, Lou. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
That is fantastic. I'm so excited. You know what's great about... Oh, Jerry's with us too. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Andy.
Hi.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for that clip because last time we had a different clip, so this is cool that we have this clip. Oh my God, that's hysterical. And the septic tank. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. And it's also so typical, that generation of guys, right? You know what I mean? Just great. And I love his voice. Louis' voice is just so distinctive, isn't it?
Yeah, he made a career out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, you're right. Okay, so you were both on, and also Jeff was on as well.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how you guys all met at Syracuse, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We went to Syracuse together, and you made this amazing film, and now it's being re-released, and that's really exciting. So this weekend is like kind of a launch of the re-release, right?
Yeah, it's the first screening in the New York area since the release back in '89.
Okay,
So,
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So probably not many people have seen it, right?
Right.
I mean, unless you had it in your possession, but who else would have seen it?
Yeah, it made the festival circuit. It did travel all around Sundance, London, Tokyo. I had a great year. I got to go all over the place, Paris.
But not this year, you mean?
No, back in '89.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
since '89, this is like, so back then you got to do all that. This is now being re-released. Let me ask you, because I don't know these logistics, can it be resubmitted to festivals or no?
I think it depends on the festival. I haven't really looked into that.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, when it was submitted to Sundance, there was a small film, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, it was called what? Sex, Lies, and Videotape?
Yeah.
Is that what it, yeah. That just happened to be in the same
Competition.
competition
Wow.
as this. So,
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
that film, had a huge studio behind it.
Yes. Yeah, they made it sound like it was a small film, but it really, really wasn't.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't.
isn't that something? That's, that happens a lot. Let me take a moment. Michael Barberi has joined us.
Hi, Michael.
You remember Michael Barberi, right? Of
Oh,
course.
he's a good friend. Yeah, I love Michael.
Okay, Len Shabar, Mark Katzoff, Logan Edward Jr., Justine Mary has joined us. Okay, so folks, what we're talking about, since you just joined us, is the movie Cheap Shots that these gentlemen, Andy Prasky and Jeff, your last name is Smokehouse?
Me?
Stackhouse, right?
Steffes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, second one.
Stoeffhaas. Okay, when I was looking at it, I'm like, is it Stack? Okay, so good. I'm glad I asked. Stoeffhaas. Okay. So a lot of people that just joined us are actors and have been in films and love this kind of stuff. And I hope our friend Chris DePiero pops on, because he's a filmmaker that's a very good friend that is constantly making stuff. So I'm going to try to drag him up with me to Bronxville this weekend. Okay, so tell us what we need to know.
Well, one of the exciting things about the screening in Bronxville this week is David Patrick Kelly will be joining us. David Patrick Kelly is one of the stars, along with Louis Zorich. And David is just coming off the very successful run in Into the Woods.
Wow.
And he's going to then be following up with that in a tour that's going a national tour. And y'all probably, David has a whole fan base out there. He's terrific.
Yes.
The films that he's done in the past, and he's also in Twin Peaks, and he was in Commando, Warrior, Dreamscape Warriors was his.
Yes, I can't get it out of my head ever since I saw the movie. All those
yes,
years
that
ago.
was actually an ad lib where he put bottles on his fingertips.
Yes,
said,
I remember.
Warriors, come out and
Come to play. I remember it. It's blazed in my brain.
And the director just loved that ad libs and kept it in the film.
Amazing. So now, did your movie precede Warriors, or was it the other way around?
Warriors preceded Cheap Shots, but we had met David. We didn't know David. He was. We were fortunate enough to catch a bunch of people very, very early in their careers.
Wow.
So the movie that we made for $500,000 would cost. Right now we had one of the executive producers now of Game of Thrones, Bernie Caulfield. We had our boom operator went on. He's now the director of photography of Yellowstone.
Wow.
Our composer, Jeff Beal, was a student at the Eastman School of Music in Rochester. He's won 6 Emmys for House of Cards, Monk, all kinds of.
This is incredible.
Yeah, these people all. Deb Aquila, our casting director, was the one who found Louis and David and brought together all these terrific actors that we would never have found. Deb is now at Paramount. She's been there for a long time. She cast a few little things like Twilight, and all these gigantic studio pictures.
Wow.
The odds of all of this talent being in that area at that time, working on that film, this film, is incredible.
Yes, I agree. And you know what? Is so, it's all interesting to me. It's fascinating, actually, that that this is all, because I remember the story you told me in the beginning, but this is what, I want to go because I want to support you guys, and also because I love the idea of this, but this is really why I want to go, because this capsule, it's a time capsule. Mm-hmm. It has captured the beginnings of so many amazing people's careers. So it's like going back in time. It's like time traveling. Like for someone like me, that my brain thinks in those ways, that's what really blows my mind, is that this is like a time capsule that someone found, and you're like, wow, that's before so-and-so was so-and-so. It's the beginning of everyone's career. And I think including you guys, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. And it's interesting to have that happen with folks behind the camera, the composer, the DP, and all that. I think that's one of the interesting things, and maybe Andy can talk about this a little bit, in why he created this company, Sumida, Recollections. The idea that there are films, especially in that turbulent period at the time that home video came out and came up and then collapsed. And there are a lot of great little films that were made in those days. It was a heyday of American independence.
Wow.
When Spike Lee got his start, and Jim Jarmusch and people like that.
Yep.
And, Andy has this idea with Sumida to find and resurrect some of these treasures that haven't been seen in so long.
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to get a second look, if you will, at films that were made back in the 70s and 80s that got a limited release and kind of just went away. But these are really intelligent, well-made films that need and deserve a second look.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about.
I love that. And here's what I love about the second look concept. We're in a different place now. Like when you said 88, I made a joke about it, but my life was so different than it is now. So my perception back then would have been different watching this movie than it is now. So that's why I think like it's so important sometimes to go back, and I do that myself anyway. I'll go back and like I just found my copy of Tatum O'Neal and Ryan O'Neal. Now it escapes me, but with their father and son, daughter.
Something Moon.
Paper Moon. Thank you.
Paper Moon. Yeah.
And I said I need to rewatch that. As you know, something like I haven't seen it in over 20, maybe 25 years. You know, I love stuff like that. I love going back. You know, so I think this is going to be really great. And when you played that clip, just his voice is so distinctive and funny and just great. Like he is a quintessential character actor.
There's actually an organization that's been started, and I don't even know the name of it. I'll have to get it for you, Maria, so you can follow up. Okay. I think Ira Deutschman is part of it, and a bunch of others. Folks who made films that we got to meet and see on the festival circuit, like Nancy Savoca, and a bunch of others who shot their films like we did on film in 35 millimeter, and like we did, many of them, one way or another, lost control of their original negatives. Ours was destroyed by somebody we didn't want that to happen. So this group is trying to identify films from those periods, like the one that won Sundance that year. Sex, Lies, and Videotape won the Audience Award. The Jury Award was won by True Love, a wonderful film. But you need to find ways technically to bring it back, and that's what I and Jeff worked on. Getting that 35 millimeter print scan so you could enjoy it again and get it out on things like streaming services.
But now, like, were you talking about prices that the difference in price to make it back then and to make it now, right? Mm-hmm. But now let me ask you something. If you do find these organizations that find these things, now are the prices? It must be today's prices, right? Because it must be even more expensive because you have to transfer everything, right?
Yeah. Well, from a technical aspect, point, everything is so digital now. Yeah. Whereas back then, especially when you're shooting a film on 35, just the silver, in 35 millimeter, film was expensive. Yeah. Then you have to develop it, the negative. Then you have to make a positive, and then you have to cut it. Wow. In this day and age, when in the digital age, a lot of those costs are gone.
Right.
But they're replaced by, I'm sure, other expensive things.
It's just really, really interesting. Like all that stuff fascinates me because sometimes I'll have as a songwriter, I have songs on, believe it or not, still left on cassette tapes. That I will like. Now, I thank God I've always had a cassette player. I still keep it. And then sometimes I'll record it to my phone because otherwise it would just be gone. I'll find old things. But I'm fascinated by all that stuff, like going back in time, the time capsule stuff, and, these hidden treasures. That's what I would put this under.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, this is a treasure.
we had it on VHS, and more, not only did people would ask me, "Can I see your movie?" Yeah, there it is, Andy. And
oh wow,
and that's a relic right there.
That's a treasure. Yeah. But in addition to making it, fewer and fewer people would have VHS to look at.
Right.
Secondly, the tapes deteriorated terribly.
Yes.
VHS tapes don't last, so we had to go back, and we were very, very fortunate to find this really kind of a genius guy in Rochester, one-man shop, basically.
Wow.
Who was able to scan it, color time it, correct it, even do some edits. Andy came up with a couple of good things to drop in that we didn't have in there before, where the film had deteriorated too much. And
incredible.
Incredible.
This is such a great story.
Well, Hollywood's been doing this for a while now. Is finding old films that have been forgotten in warehouses, and they've been obviously restoring for like the last 20, 25 years, which has been a great thing. And for now, independent films, not just the big Hollywood films, but for independent films, which have a lot of cachet to them, that's great too, because it's all worthwhile.
Yeah,
it's all great messaging.
Who was the director of photography? Because the photography is really good. And
that was Tom Marini, who's still around up in Rochester. I was living in Rochester. Jeff and I were living in Rochester at the time, and we shot the whole film there with a local crew. And,
I love it.
Yeah, Tom is still around, and he did a fabulous job for us. We shot it on Kodak film, because that's home of Kodak at that time. It was a big deal. And actually, one of the ironies that just occurred to me as we're doing this, the film is about, at one level, about videotape, because it was made at a time when videotape was just coming out. So in the story, these guys get hold of a video camera, and that's how they get in trouble, by videotaping a murder by accident.
Wow.
So, it's kind of a weird parallel.
I'm looking forward to it. So let's talk about, again, where it is. Guys, I have it written down, but you want to tell everybody where it's showing?
It's at the Bronxville Picture House, which is a theater right across the street, literally, from the Metro North train station.
Oh, wonderful.
It's my train. I commute from Bronxville every day to Midtown.
And what's the stop? What would the stop be?
Bronxville is the name of the stop.
Okay.
It's the third stop in Westchester, so it's about a 30-minute train ride, Metro North.
The city. Okay.
A little shorter on the express.
Yeah.
Jerry, what time is the showing?
5 p.m. And then the Q&A with David will be after.
Okay, great.
That is a treat. If anybody is a David Petrocelli fan, and there are a lot of them out there, he's got like this cult following, which is great.
Yeah, I love that.
To see him in person and to ask him questions is priceless.
So cool.
If you're a fan of David too, it's one of the times when he really gets to shine and have a feature role, a starring role, as opposed to some of his most very memorable characterizations where he's in a larger ensemble cast. But here it's all Louis and David.
Yeah.
And their relationship in this film is priceless. It's the way they work together is just, they had different techniques, acting techniques, but somehow they pulled it together and made this relationship on film, which is wonderful to watch.
That's what people mean by chemistry. And you can't describe chemistry, you can't show it, you can talk about, but it just has to be felt. And whatever that is, in any job you have, if you have chemistry with your coworkers or singers, when they sing with piano players, like there's certain, like Lynn Portis, who's my best friend. Like my chemistry with Lynn is so different and you can't describe it. It's like, but something just happens. So that's what I'm kind of hearing that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I understand it completely, because when I was living in Manhattan and I was making the piano bar rounds, Jerry Scott was my guy,
Good.
I could get up and sing with Jerry and feel 1,000% comfortable.
Yes.
I didn't have that relationship with anybody else.
What you just said, and this is what it's about. I just realized what it's about. It's about trust.
Absolutely.
That's why you felt comfortable. You trusted that he wouldn't drop you and that he had your back. And I think that's like in acting, in any kind of relationship, creative relationship, if you feel that other person or group of people you can trust them and they have your back, you can just be the entertainer then you could just be the artist, whatever your art form is. And that's what I think it's all about. It's all about trust.
Yes, if you trust as a performer, you open up.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, especially singing, because music has that ability and lyrics have that ability to like instantaneously transform an audience when you open up. And if you have that trust with whoever is backing you, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it applies to, the longevity of the relationship between Andy and Jeff and myself goes back to the 1970s. And we started making films in college then. And here we are still working together, still tight, still, creative together, and it's a great thing.
I love
Still make-
that.
Yeah, still making each other laugh, which is like the important part.
Listen, that is it. That is it. If you can still laugh with your friends, that there is really nothing better. I'm telling you. And your friends really know you. You know, like if you know someone's sense of humor, you really know them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and it's kind of almost like a sibling-like relationship.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you know each other's senses of humor, right?
Absolutely. Humor just crosses all barriers.
Yep. Okay, so speaking of which, Meg Peg Gallagher, who I went to high school with, has joined us, and Marla Green has joined us. I like to always, if I see someone that I recognize, I want to call them out and thank them.
I want to say hello to Marla. I haven't seen Marla in years, but hello, Marla. I love you.
There you go. All right, great. So, Marla, thanks for joining us.
Actually, last time we were on here, who jumped in but Jesse Chandler, who Andy and I made a film starring Jesse Chandler back in
Really?
right.
Isn't that crazy? And I think you know Kate Greer also knows. She may have known Jeff. So it was like a lot of people that, you know, Kate comes on our show all the time. So things like that. Now, what is your hope? You guys, what you're gonna show it in Bronxville? What is your hope for this film?
Well, after this showing, we are then going to. We have to do a few little technical things in terms of. Unfortunately, you know, the film business has legal things that has to be done, and insurance and things like that. Blah blah blah. But we're going to absolutely get it streamed, so it'll be on a streaming service somewhere somehow, and not just on one streaming. We want to get it cross sectional. So we want to be on a lot of different, because we really feel like this film is so valuable to watch.
Yeah.
We are actually getting a few inquiries here and there, and we may get more people saying, you know, can we show it? There's something, and Andy's talking to some people in New Jersey for some screenings. And, you know, if those opportunities come up, we may do it. We're not looking to do another release, but I mean theatrical, because right now that's not a feasible way to go at all. But you know, it's fun to do these things with
yes, people. Absolutely, and it gets the buzz out, and it's just like a very intimate thing to do. You know, to go to a film festival or anything like that. I mean, I always feel so privileged when I get to see these films. You know,
in here in like New Jersey and Monmouth County, Kevin Smith, who we all know, you know, bought a theater in Atlantic Highlands. Cool. And it was the movie theater that he used to go to as a kid, and he now owns the theater, and he's changed the name to Smodcastle, I believe. And there's a film festival going on right now, and once that's done, I would like to have a showing or two there at Smodcastle in Atlantic Highlands. But there's also a couple independent theaters here in Red Bank, which would be nice too. So there's different places we can show it, but the streaming is where I think the majority of the people will eventually see it.
Okay, wonderful. And yeah, because people watch, I mean, everybody's connected to that now these days.
Absolutely.
All right, we are going to, Leo, are you around? Come pop back in. We're going to do the food section of our show next. We'll take a little break. Leo is busy. He's like, go.
Maria, I made something for you tonight. So I
you
made.
Did?
Yes, I
what?
did. Yep. I did, and I know you're very much on the.
Wow.
You're very like carb conscious. So
I'm back on my keto. How did you know?
I watch your show.
Wow, you really pay attention in class.
So but it's basic, but it's good. This is Leo, everyone.
I love it. Hey, this is Leo too. There he is. There's Leo too.
I can't get rid of him. He just
he loves you.
So I'm going to have to put him down for a second. Yes, he does. All right, I'm going to put you down. So when you're ready, I want to show you something very simple.
First we have to. I can't wait. We all have to say at the count of 3. Go ahead. Keep eating, and then you can show it. Yeah. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. Keep eating. All right, Andy. Very good. Andy, got to call back.
Do you want to? Again, this is a very.
You want me to
simple
go
dish.
first, or you want? No, you go first.
No, let me go first because then you can do your thing. Because
Yes.
it's like you're so much more intricate than I am. But let me show you what I did. Now, I created an antipasta.
I love it.
There it is.
Wow.
So
Andy.
Look at hams in there too. Yummy.
So this is. I love butter lettuce. So there's.
I do too.
Butter lettuce, Boston butter
Boston
lettuce,
right?
And also romaine.
Yeah.
But there's also salami and just a little bit of pepperoni because pepperoni has a little bit of a heat to it. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously provolone and mozzarella. And then
Andy, I'm impressed so far.
I always add roasted peppers. And I keep the olives out because I'm not an olive fan, but you can always put olives, onions, and then, of course, you always put the Parmesan cheese.
Wow.
And then you top it with a special... All right. This is now, don't hate me.
I'm not going to hate you.
Don't hate me.
Why would I hate you?
This is an Olive Garden hack.
That's
dressing.
okay.
Because I don't know if you've ever had the retail Olive Garden dressing.
I have not.
You need to try it.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try anything.
It's amazing. But if you want to make it yourself, it's very simple. It's dry Italian dressing mix, olive oil, white vinegar, water, and mayo. Simple.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So I made that for you. So there you go.
Oh my God, Andy, that is a perfect keto meal.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm back on the keto because I let myself eat during the holidays. I have stopped trying to. I just let myself do it, and then I say, Maria, what the hell have you done? Snap the hell out of it. And then I have to go back to the keto. So
do you jump back on the bed and use the pliers and zip it up like you did in the 70s?
Oh, those days.
Yeah, but we did used to have to do that back then. No,
I saw my cousin do it. I remember.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad. You know what's funny? Back then I was so skinny, but I always bought a size smaller for something. All the girls did because we wanted those Jordache jeans to fit a certain way.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. Oh my God. And the Sassoon jeans. Remember that? That was Jordache crazy. Okay, so what did I make? Oh, yes. Were you going to say something?
What was the expression? No one gets between me and my wife.
It was Brooke Shields, right?
Yes, it was Brooke Shields.
No one gets between me and my Calvins.
Calvin. There you go. Hey.
You see what a good ad will do? You'll never forget it. You never forget it. You're right. Okay,
that's why I'm in advertising. Go ahead.
I love it. No, I love advertising too, Andy. It's funny. I remember all of that stuff. So I got sea scallops.
Oh, man.
If we were in Massachusetts, I would have got the bay scallops because I prefer them, the smaller ones. But I got sea scallops, and what I did was I marinated them for about an hour in Marsala wine, in lemon, garlic, and a little bit of onion powder. And then this is my little trick. I was making a spicy sausage today. I cooked spicy Italian sausage, right, for my sauce. And so when I was frying the sausage, all that oil is extra oil. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not throwing that out. I'm going to use that. Leo, I knew you were going to love this. I'm going to use that oil. It's because I thought about putting bacon in it. I'm like, no, I'm going a step up.
Oh my
I'm going with the spicy sausage oil. So I did that. And then, Andy, your roasted red peppers are in there. Those are roasted red peppers because I love them too.
Nothing's better than roasted red peppers.
Delicious. I feel like I'm in someone's backyard when I taste that. And then scallions. I just cut up some scallions and threw them on. So that's my...
What's it over?
It's over cauliflower rice. Thank you for asking.
Rice.
There you go.
Is only 2 grams of carbs. So you can definitely have that. Yeah, you learn little tricks when you go back on it. I love the keto because it's all stuff I love. For a salad tonight, I made red leaf lettuce with some... I bought a small red pepper, and if you cut it that way, it comes out like a little saws. The saw, like a little saw.
It's a theme.
And then this is an English cucumber, which I love. You can see that it's got little ridges and it's delicious. And red onions. Don't say anything, Leo. And what I'm going to put on this is that in Boston, the New England Olive Oil Company, which is my favorite, they have a Milanese Gremolata olive oil. I'm using that, and I'm using a fig-infused vinegar, balsamic vinegar. Yeah, isn't that sound delicious?
That sounds delicious.
Okay, now this is where the challenge comes up with keto dessert. It's not always exciting. But I found this company called Factor 75, which I get some meals from to stay on keto. But they make this really great cheesecake. So this is a pumpkin cheesecake, although it kind of falls apart. It's not the consistency. So cheesecake with pumpkin seeds on it, and I put some blueberries on there. I'll put a little whipped cream because you can have whipped cream on keto. That's it. There's my dessert. So I needed to share that with you. This keeps me creative. Sometimes I say to myself, why do you torture yourself and do this food section? Because it keeps me on my toes creatively so that when my creative guests come on, it all works. So Victoria Force has joined us. Hello, Victoria. Calvin's right. She said she knew it too. Yep, nothing comes between me and my Calvins. Wow.
That's a long time ago, too.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's right around the time when you guys released your movie.
Probably, yeah.
Right? Those were the commercials of back then. It was all about the jeans back then, and they all fit a certain way. Some of those designs are making a comeback. I kind of like them. When I see them, I always kind of cry.
Le Tigre shirts were in at that time.
What's that?
Le Tigre shirts. But collared Le Tigre, 2 buttons. Yeah, I remember those.
And the Izod shirts, right? The
Izod as well.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I love commercials. I love old commercials. I think they're fantastic. And certain jingles, my God.
Blop, blop, fizz, fizz.
That's one of my favorite. Oh, what a relief it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I got to make the donuts.
Yeah,
time to make the donuts.
Sure. Where's the beef? It was a huge thing.
Oh, you want something scary? 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on the sesame bun.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Or there was also Big Mac, filet of fish, quarter pounder French fries, icy Coke, thick shake sundaes, and apple pies.
Oh, you see, you were one of those kids that stuck in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like that, and I love jingles. Jingles to me are like those I can't get out of my head, And I whistle them all the time. I still whistle jingles. Danielle says, "Have you guys looked into getting the movie streamed in libraries? They have a streaming platform, and in most places now called Canopy as well."
I have looked at Canopy, and Canopy. That's exactly what Canopy does. Is they're huge. They do a lot of documentaries and educational films and things like that. I would, if they pick this up, that would be wonderful. Wow. But Canopy is on our radar. Yeah, absolutely.
I would wonder, you guys should be on the college circuit as well, especially with young filmmakers who, with what you accomplished at that time, to do it all and get it done.
Speaking of that, would you guys consider going back out to Syracuse and doing like a panel discussion and, I know it's way out there, but I think if I were a college student at Syracuse and these 3 amazing guys came back and talked about this film they had made as friends from Syracuse, that I would go to that.
Yeah, sure.
I would do it. Yeah, I would do it as well. And we kind of did that in Rochester back in September in the original showing, and we had a Q&A, which was really delightful because everyone was so supportive and so enthused about the remaking, or the restoration, I should say, of the film. And it was such a really rewarding experience. And on a personal level, I got to see, and this doesn't happen very often, but I got to sit next to the chairman of the film department at Syracuse University at the time, who's since retired. And I got to thank him.
Wow.
Because he, through some unintentional actions, changed my life.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, he asked me to do something when I was a new grad student, first year grad student. It was our first meeting. My knees were knocking together from being nervous. He walks into this little room smoking a pipe, which he would never be able to do today. And
Right.
the whole room filled up with cigars.
I know my dad used to smoke a pipe.
Smoke. Yeah,
I love
and
it. Actually. I love that smell.
And at the end of this meeting, he held me back and he asked me, only because during the meeting I said the last thing I don't want to do, I want to write, I want to produce, I want to direct. I don't want to edit. I don't want to be an editor. And he held me back at the end of this meeting. All the other students were gone, and he said, I want you to edit this feature that we've been shooting for 2 years.
Oh,
you're going to be my editor.
No.
He changed my life.
But isn't that amazing? And in other words, he knew what your comfort zone was, and he said, I'm going the opposite direction.
Get me out of my comfort zone, and I was able, and he's in his 80s now, and I was able to sit next to him at the Little, which is the theater that we showed Cheap Shots in September, and I was able to sit there next to him and thank him for literally changing my life.
Isn't that incredible?
It's a very rare experience.
Yes, but it's also, when you get to thank someone.
Yes.
You know what's funny? I had teachers that I just adored, and I think years later, there was one teacher I ended up calling to ask her a question. I was like, the only person that would know this is Mrs. Rosen, my English teacher in high school. And I found her number somewhere, and I did call her once, and I asked her, and she knew the answer. And then I said, I just want to thank you. You were my favorite teacher. But I had the luxury of being on the other side of that once. I was trying to get on the boat going out to Ellis Island. I had my mom, this is many, many years ago, and she was in a wheelchair. And this young man came up to me. He was maybe in his 20s, and he came up and he said, just pointed with the wheelchair. And goes, bring the wheelchair up to the front. And I did. And I got up to the front and I thanked him. And, there was something familiar about him, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And he said, Miss Maria, you don't remember me. My name is Angel. I was one of he wasn't in my class. But what I used to do at lunchtime, I used to have like a lunchtime class, and this kid used to get picked on badly in the lunchroom. And I used to pull him out. I'd say, come here, you. Come. Why don't you hang out in my class? Because I could see that it was a dangerous situation. And it was a music class. He couldn't care less about the music, but I got him out of where he was. He remembered me. He said, I remembered you. And he told my mother that story. And I just, thinking about it gives me chills. So when you said that, it works. It's on both ends. I'm sure it meant a lot to him that you said that. So that
it meant a lot to me to be able to say that.
Wow, it changed your life. You're right.
He did. He didn't know exactly what he was doing at the time, but
well, you know what? I bet he did.
He knew,
but he knew that he was pushing me, as you said, out of my comfort zone.
Right.
Because I remember in that meeting, I said, "Oh, I don't want to be an editor because you sit by yourself in a dark room, you have nobody to talk to, and all you do is cut film."
Yeah.
And I said, I'm a collaborative guy. I want to go back and forth. I want to talk about things. And after everyone left, he said, stay behind. And oh my God, my heart was beating like a rabbit because I was like, did I say something wrong? And he goes, I want you to edit this film. And the original name of the film was White Cornflakes, which eventually became Paradigms, which Jerry himself worked on too. Jerry did all the amazing graphics in that film.
How did you feel though after you edited that film? What realization? What did you get out of that doing that?
That's a great question.
You forward.
That's a great question. I'll tell you, and I've said this for the last 30 years. If you're an editor, a film editor, you learn literally everything there is to know about making a film. You know, direction, camera angles, good and bad performances, continuity, pacing, music choices.
Wow.
It goes on and on and on. When you're an editor, you scrutinize literally every frame of that film. and
Wow.
you learn every single aspect of filmmaking.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. You're right.
There was a great quote by, I think it was Scorsese, but I don't remember who, but one of the really great directors who said, and I think, I don't know where, you make every film 3 times. First, you make it when you're prepping it. You're writing it, you're conceiving it, you're imagining it. There's a film in your head, you know, you're all passionate about it. Then you get on the set, and you're dealing with starting with blank slate, starting all over again, and you've got to reimagine that film from the beginning. Then, at the end of that process, you've got a pile of film, and you have to start all over. Everything you thought you knew about the film you thought you were making, you got to throw it out, and now you make the film you have the footage for.
That's amazing. That's such great advice, and such a what a way to look at that. But it's true.
It's very true. It's so true. That's wow.
That's incredible.
I've always remembered a quote by Steven Spielberg. It's to this day in my career, it's so true. They say, "What is the hardest part about making a film?" And he said, "Getting out of the car on the first day of the shoot."
That's great.
And it's true. Because you
all
don't
ahead
know
of
where
you.
it's going to go. Right, exactly.
It's all ahead of you. You have no, yeah, wow.
Once again, we want to remind everybody the film that we're talking about tonight, that these 2 gentlemen and their friend Jeff, is it Urlis?
Urlis.
Okay, Urlis, are showing again. It's not called a re-release again, but you know it's been resurrected from being lost for years.
Resurrection of
restored and resurrected.
Yes, Cheap Shots. It's showing. I believe it's Sunday, right?
Sunday at 5 p.m.
Sunday at 5 p.m. in Bronxville at the Picture House. If you want to get tickets, you can go to Bronxville. There's something.
It's thepicturehouse.org. Or Cheap Shots 1988.
And you probably can get them in person there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So everybody should get out there this Sunday. It's not far from the city. As Jerry was saying, it's 3 stops into Westchester. You get off at the Bronxville stop. You can drive there if you have a car. It's pretty easy. Please do yourself a favor if you're in that area and go and check it out. And let's all find each other during the shoot.
Absolutely.
We can all sit together. It's going to be so fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And if you're a David Patrick Kelly fan, he's going to be there.
He's going to be there for a Q&A afterwards. I mean, how exciting is that?
That's
and you
great.
guys are going to be there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. We got to get some pictures. That's going to be
And you don't have to take our word for it. If you go to the website that Leo helped us with, you'll see the reviews there from Variety, from Time Out, from Sundance and all that. The critics liked the movie.
Oh, my God. That's great. Leo, once again, Leo does amazing work. He just did a new promo for our show. And I also want to remind everybody, although, I'm almost afraid to just keep talking about Leo because he's going to be so busy soon. We're not going to, I don't know how he's going to find time. But Leo also restores things like a Legacy Box does. You can send your things to Leo and he will digitize them for you, which is actually, that's my next project, Leo, but
that's what I'm going to be busy doing.
I know. So I'm going to find all that. I got all that stuff under my bed. I just have to get it together and send some stuff out to you. And that's it. We just want to thank the guys. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you to Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Beyond my pleasure. I actually reached out to Andy because I saw that it was showing. I'm like, do you want to come back on and talk about it? So this is really
so
great.
nice of you. Thank you.
Of course. And Paula Chenoris Donnelly also has joined us. She says, hi, guys.
Hi, Paula.
Yeah, and someone just said that the Golden Globes are on tonight as well. So maybe that after the Golden Globes. And
that show?
Yeah, that show. And people have watched it. This goes into, it's on YouTube. You can find it. You can also find it on my page, my show page, Leo's page, probably the guys.
Also tonight, we're broadcasting from Cheap Shots Facebook as well.
Oh, how cool.
So that's great. Thank you.
You can find this anywhere and go back and watch it after the Golden Globes. Okay, we love and appreciate you. We're here every Tuesday from 9 to 10 p.m. Please come back next week. We will be here. It's going to be a very special show. I can't say too much because it's a surprise. Someone that I love more than anybody in the world, and we're going to celebrate her because her birthday's coming up. So, okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out, and we'll see you Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.